Imagine you are in an elevator heading to the fourth floor. Next to you, a producer. You've got seconds, not minutes. No time for your whole story. You need one killer line, something that hooks them fast. And when the doors open, all they say is, "So, what happens next?"
Okay, what happens next?
That's the power of a great logline. One sentence, lasting impact. Today on Studio Nemano, you'll learn how to craft a powerful one-line summary of your screenplay. If you're into screenwriting, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. First, I'm gonna break down all the key elements every logline needs. Then, I'll explain why a strong logline matters, not just for writers, but for producers and even the audience. And finally, we take a look at a few examples from famous films and see how they work. So, stick around till the end. The first key thing about a logline is that it has to be just one sentence, ideally no more than 2 lines. Some screenwriting experts even recommend keeping it under 15 words. The second important point is that both the protagonist and antagonist should be clearly identified. We need to know exactly who the hero is and who they're up against. The third key characteristic is time and setting. We need to know when and where the story takes place, along with the cultural and historical context that shapes it.
What business does an elf, a man, and a dwarf have in the Riddermark?
The fourth essential element is the cultural conflict or problem the protagonist must face. The challenge should be clearly stated because it's the driving force of the story. It's what gives the film momentum and keeps the audience engaged. The fifth key element is the bold and risky action the protagonist takes. They set out on a dangerous journey to reach their goal, and that sense of risk and urgency must be captured in the logline. The sixth element of the strong logline is that it shouldn't reveal the ending. This is because the ending might change during production, whether by the producer, editor, or even the writer. Plus, to maintain suspense, it's best to keep the conclusion a mystery. The greatest benefit of a logline for a writer is that it offers a clear understanding of the story scope and essential elements. By having an overview of a story, the writer can conduct more researches. For instance, if the story is set in a specific area or location, such as medieval France or 18th century America, they can tailor their studies accordingly. Likewise, by clearly identifying the story's central conflict, the writer concentrates their research on that issue, bringing both precision and depth to their work. Understanding the key actions the protagonist will take also helps the writer explore those actions in greater detail, resulting in a more engaging and believable screenplay. Moreover, by leaving the ending out of the logline, the writer retains the flexibility to change it later if needed. Although the logline is usually written at the end of the screenwriting process, a writer who is familiar with the key aspects of their story can create one at the beginning. However, the logline written at the start will almost certainly differ from the one written at the end. This is because throughout the writing process, various changes may take place and the writer might revise different elements of the story, ultimately resulting in a different final logline. But what are the benefits of a logline for a producer? Producers receive a high volume of story pitches every day and are expected to review them all. However, they often don't have the time to read through every script or synopsis. A clear, conscious, great logline that highlights the essential elements of the screenplay can greatly increase the chances of catching a producer's attention. It allows them to quickly assess whether the story is worth pursuing or investing in. Finally, a logline helps the audience decide whether a film is worth watching or not. When included in a movie's description on streaming platforms or promotional materials, it offers a quick snapshot of the story. If the audience isn't drawn to the film's setting, time period, or central conflict, they can simply move on, saving time and choosing something that better fits their interests. Alright guys, now that we've broken down all the essential elements of a logline, let's dive into some examples from iconic films. The Silence of the Lamb. Let's take a closer look at it together. A young FBI cadet must receive the help of an incarcerated and manipulative cannibal killer to help catch another serial killer, a madman who skins his victims. In this table, you can see all the key elements of the logline for The Silence of the Lambs. It's a complete sentence that includes the protagonist, the antagonist, the main danger, the central problem, and the story setting. The protagonist is Clarice, a young FBI trainee. The antagonist is a madman who skins his victims. The high-risk element is Clarice's conversation with Dr. Lecter, an imprisoned, manipulative cannibal. The core problem of the story is the ongoing murderers and killers who's not easy to find. The FBI setting and the contemporary American backdrop gives us the time and place. And interestingly, the ending is left out, which adds to the suspense. The next film we're going to analyze is Romeo and Juliet. The logline goes like this. Romeo and Juliet from two rival families in medieval Italy fall in love, but their families strongly oppose their marriage, so they decide to run away together. The protagonists are clearly Romeo and Juliet. The antagonists are their family. The risky action is their decision to escape. The core conflict is the family's refusal to accept their love. The setting of medieval Italy gives us the time and place, and just like before, the ending is not revealed in the logline. So far, we'll analyze the loglines of some important films together. Now, it's your turn. Based on what you've learned in this video, pick a few well-known films, watch them, and then try to write the logline for each film yourself. Afterward, compare your logline with the official one here in the comments, and I'd be happy to read it and share my feedback with you. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Also, check out the links to other educational videos I've shared in the description, and don't miss them. I look forward to your thoughts and suggestions.